It's 5:30. I'm going to call this board meeting to order. Good evening. Thank you. Ms. Stoykoy, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Coco?
Here.
Mr. Gomez?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Here.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Here.
Mrs. White?
Here.
Item B, number 1, motion to approve the agenda. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the agenda of the April 6, 2022 regular Board of Education meeting. Action by the Board of Education and adoption of a consent agenda means that all items are adopted by one singular motion unless a member of the Board of Education, Treasurer, or Superintendent requests that any such item be removed from the consent agenda and voted upon separately.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Welcome, a very special welcome to all of our top Tigers as well as our bowling team and their family and friends that are here tonight. And a welcome as well to our Superintendent, Designee, Dr. Celico. She's trying to hide in the back, but it didn't work. She'll be our new superintendent come August 1st, so welcome to her as well. Our vision, Cuyahoga Falls City Schools, the hub of our community, committed to a culture of caring. We innovate, we create, we personalize education for all. Our mission, every student, every day, every opportunity. Item 2, informational items. This meeting is a meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not a public community meeting, although there are opportunities for public participation. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic found on the meeting agenda, the individual must complete a registration form found inside the attendance notebook and present it to the treasurer. Following the introduction of the topic by the board president, followed by board discussion, the individual will be recognized. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic not found on the meeting agenda, they must notify the superintendent and or board president of the topic no later than 3 business days in advance of the meeting. These individuals may share their comments during the board business portion of the agenda. In both cases, comments will include the name and address of the individual and be limited to 3 minutes. In addition, in public session, the board will not hear complaints about any school personnel nor against any person connected with the school system. An unabridged board agenda for this meeting can be found on your electronic device at the address shown on the screen. And for your convenience, there are hard copies of the board agenda at the table on the librarian's desk. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education is April 20th, 2022, right here at the Cuyahoga Falls High School Library at 5:30 p.m. And we have a 6/12 construction meeting on April 28th, 2022, right here at 6 p.m. Now for our Pledge of Allegiance and positive reflections, Mr. Harris.
Please stand for the pledge if you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. For my positive reflection this evening, since we are on the eve of the Masters Tournament, I thought it only appropriate to quote Tiger Woods. It is okay to fail. Failing does not shape your personality. It's how you react upon your failure. Do you dust yourself off and mope, or do you dust yourself off and come back stronger than next time? Eventually you will win. It may not happen the next time. It may take a little time, but in the end, you will eventually win.
Thank you. Now on to item D, our presentations. Number 1, Top Tigers recognition. Mr. Shabady.
Good evening. It's great to see such a big crowd here tonight and recognizing all these students for athletics, academics, behavior, all those things. So you guys represent the best of the best, and we're glad you're here. We hope all of you had a nice spring break. At least you got some rest and relaxation and are ready to finish the year on a positive note. We have about 37, 38 days of school left, so we're looking forward to finishing strong. Before I introduce our students tonight, I'd like to introduce Mr. Gary Medcalf. He is the Executive Director of the Cuyahoga Falls Alumni Association and the Schools Foundation, and he's going to explain about the groups that make this award possible. So, Gary.
Thank you. Congratulations to all the top Tigers, and was it the bowling team tonight? Great job, great season this year. I'd like to thank our top Tiger sponsors, Donato's Pizza, Dietz's Florist, and Young Screen Printing. Some of the things the Schools Foundation does, we help with the addition of the Tiger Trail, the new entrance to Clifford Stadium. If you've ever been through it, you see there's bricks. If you still like to purchase a brick, see me afterwards. The foundation helps with class reunions. We sponsor all class reunions. We honor distinguished alumni here at Cuyahoga Falls graduates. We help with teacher grants. Last 7 years, we've awarded about $35,000 with teacher grants. And most of all, we award scholarships to our graduating seniors. And in the past 7 years, we've awarded over $1 million worth of scholarships. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to all Top Tigers. And last but not least, you'll get one of these nice t-shirts. So see me across the hall in the cafeteria after the presentation. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to bring up some of our elementary students who have earned the Top Tiger Award. When I call your name, if you'd come up here, and Dr. Cruz, if you'd help me with the presents they get, I guess it is. First of all, from DeWitt Elementary School, Mebalachi Walucha. Mebalachi. Mebalachi is a 5th grade student at DeWitt Elementary School. She is a hard worker who strives to improve in all her subject areas. Oftentimes, she will spend extra time improving her math skills by working on independent assignments at home and whenever she has extra time at school. She also spends time helping in both the indoor and outdoor gardens at DeWitt. She helped prepare the courtyard for the winter by raking leaves and composting materials. Currently, she is preparing seeds by using the indoor grow cart to grow new plants for the pollinator and cultural flower beds at DeWitt. In her quiet ways, Mebalucci is a caring and wonderful classmate who is kind to all. This is why the 5th grade team is proud to nominate her as our Top Tiger. Congratulations. DeWitt Elementary School also wants to recognize Logan Almquist. Logan here? Come up, Logan. Logan was nominated by Terry Taylor for the month of March. He is a baseball player who loves to play drums and challenge himself in school. He is a perfect example of a Black Tiger role model. Logan begins each and every day with a smile and a positive attitude. He completes his schoolwork both in the classroom and at home to the best of his ability. Logan does not hesitate to ask questions when needed, and he is always willing to contribute to classroom discussions. Finally, he is a wonderful friend to others. He is also willing to help a friend who is struggling. We are honored to nominate such a caring, hardworking young man as DeWitt Elementary School's Top Tiger for the month of March. Thank you, Logan, for being the wonderful young man that you are. We are all very proud of you. Congratulations. It's so awesome to hear the good things, isn't it? Nice. Ella Caruso. Is Ella here? Ella is a student at Lincoln Elementary School in the 1st grade. It is our pleasure to see Ella Caruso be recognized as a Top Tiger. Ella shows Black Tiger pride every day. Ella is respectful to her teachers and classmates. She takes responsibility by always completing her work in class. She is a careful worker and has exemplary handwriting. She practices safety by walking in the classroom and being our leader when we line up. Ella gets along well with others and works well with any partner in our class. Ella enjoys dance in her free time. She takes a variety of different dance styles. She was excited to share with me that she can do a cartwheel, a handstand, and a bridge. I don't think you can even do that anymore, can you, Joe? Ella's family is very important to her. I'm happy to recognize Ella Caruso as a Top Tiger. Congratulations, Ella. Also from Lincoln Elementary School, Jackson Olesh. Jackson here? Jackson is also a 1st grader. He's an outstanding student in the 1st grade classroom. Not only does he exhibit exceptional academic skills, but he also demonstrates outstanding character. Jackson is a kind and compassionate friend to his classmates and is always willing to lend a helping hand. Not only does Jackson help his classmates, but he also helps the teacher by cleaning up around the room. He is a model student. That's awesome, Jackson. He is a very smart and intelligent boy who excels in reading, writing, and math. He works very hard in school, and his love for learning is displayed by the excitement he shows in the classroom daily. Jackson has played on a local soccer team where he says that he enjoys learning new skills and kicking the ball. He is looking forward to playing on a baseball team this spring. Jackson's honest, respectful, and trustworthy nature are among the qualities that make him worthy of earning this Top Tiger Award. Congratulations, Jackson. From Preston Elementary School, Lucy Phelan. Lucy here? Come on up, Lucy. Lucy is a 5th grade student at Preston. She was nominated by Mr. Keith Nelman. Lucy is receiving our class Top Tiger Award. She is one of the hardest workers in Mr. Nelman's classroom. Lucy came to us this year all the way from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Have you lost your accent yet? Not yet? And became an instant friend to everyone in the classroom. Lucy is very liked by her peers because of her friendly personality and her great attitude. She always has a smile on her face when she arrives in the morning. Lucy is very helpful to everyone in her class and is always willing to lend a hand and help others with their assignments in math, group work. I am very proud of her accomplishments in 5th grade this year and the grades she is earning. Being a new student at a new school can be very hard, but Lucy has fit in very well and is the model student of Black Tiger Pride. It has been a pleasure this year to have such a great leader in my classroom. Way to go, Lucy. Congratulations. From Preston Elementary School, James Baharti. James here? Come on up, James. James is a 5th grade student at Preston Elementary School, nominated by Mrs. Davis and Mr. Nelman. James is a positive, awesome, and wonderful student. He strives to work carefully and neatly. James participates in class discussions. He has a great sense of humor and always offers an appropriate comment when needed. James always has a smile on his face. He is helpful to staff and students. Way to go, James. We are all very proud of you. Congratulations. From Price Elementary School, Violet Subotnik. Is Violet here? Come on up, Violet. I'll give you a guess what grade Violet's in. Violet is a kindergarten student at Price Elementary School. I'm thrilled to be able to nominate Violet as a top tiger in kindergarten. She is truly an amazing, hardworking student. She wants to do her best with everything she does and will take extra time to make sure it's done right. Not only does she demonstrate amazing skills as a student, but also as a friend. She is a sweet, kind girl who is a friend to everyone. Violet always has a smile on her face and is always willing to help others. I love having Violet in my kindergarten class this year at Price Elementary School. I know that Violet will go on to do great things in her life. Congratulations, Violet. Also from Price Elementary School, Nishal Gadam. Nishal here? Come on up. Nishal is also a kindergartner at Price Elementary. He was chosen as our top tiger because he always comes to school with a positive attitude and a desire to learn. Although quiet by nature, his work ethic is an example for other classmates. He is honest, determined, cooperative, and tries to be a friend to everyone he meets. One never hears or sees an unkind comment from Nishal. He is an excellent role model for his peers. The Price team looks forward to watching his success as he navigates his educational career through our schools. Congratulations. We are all so proud of you. Good job, buddy. From Richardson Elementary School, Linda Wells. Is Linda here? Linda is a 2nd grader at Richardson and was nominated by Mrs. Kirkpatrick. Linda Wells is Mrs. Kirkpatrick's top tiger for the 21-22 school year. Linda's quiet leadership serves as an excellent example to all. She has the ability to take what we've learned during both whole and small group lessons and transfer her knowledge to her own independent work projects. Linda goes the extra mile by seeking out what more she can do throughout the day. She inspires others to become self-motivated to try new things. Linda works diligently and meticulously no matter the subject area. Linda, you are an amazing part of the Black Tiger family and continue to be such an inspiration to others. Thank you for your hard work. Great job. Congratulations. Also from Richardson Elementary School, Vincent Collado. Vincent here. All right. At Richardson Elementary School, Vincent is in the 2nd grade. Vincent was selected as one of the top Tigers from Richardson Elementary School as he exemplifies Black Tiger pride daily. He listens attentively, seeks challenges in his learning, and gives his best efforts on his assignments. Vincent leads by example and encourages others to do their best. He enjoys taking on math challenges and building things with Legos. It is with great pride to announce Vincent Collado as our top Tiger of the month. Congratulations, Vincent. Good job, buddy. From Silver Lake Elementary School, Emma Kimmerline. This one's special to me too because I went to school with her grandfather. But he did tell me to say he's a couple years younger than me. So. I am honored to recognize Emma Kimmerline as Silver Lake's top Tiger. Emma pushes herself to do better each day, both socially and academically. This year has brought confidence, above level academic success, and goal achievement for her. Emma is a friend to everyone and serves as a role model and problem solver in our K-1 classroom. She is an amazing artist and author and brings a smile to my face daily. Emma, you bring a smile to everyone who has the opportunity of meeting you. You always take the time to do what is right and show Black Tiger pride through and through. Thank you and congratulations on being a Silver Lake top Tiger. Congratulations, Emma. Benjamin Burdette. Benjamin. This is kind of interesting because I don't have any influence in picking these awards, but his parents were both students of mine at one time. So Benjamin Burdette is a kindergarten student at Silver Lake Elementary School. Ben is an excellent student. He listens and follows directions well. He works hard and always gives his best effort. He is highly committed to doing his best in all areas of the classroom, including work habits and behavior expectations. He shows excellent Black Tiger pride every day and is a classroom leader through his actions. He is also a very kind student. He is respectful to his classmates and teachers. He is courteous and shows excellent manners in the classroom. Ben is truly deserving of this award. Congratulations, Ben. See, all the news from school isn't bad all the time, so look forward to these students and what they do bring to the future. I'm excited about the future of Cuyahoga Falls when you see young people like this. I will tell you, after the next award where we recognize the bowling team, you guys are free to leave, unless you want to hear the guy over here in the striped shirt talk about boilers for an hour. You are welcome to leave. If you go to the cafeteria, you will get a T-shirt, and hopefully you can bribe your parents into getting you some ice cream on the way home. All right. I got in trouble last time I said that, but thank you. Enjoy your evening.
Okay, now on to presentation number 2, our boys bowling team. I'm going to invite up our athletic director, Mr. Johnson.
Good evening. This was awesome. I don't think I've ever been at a board meeting with this many people in it. It's kind of nerve-wracking up here now. So I'm here tonight to recognize the boys bowling team. At this time, if I can have the coaches come up. Come on up, coaches. Don't be shy. Cheryl, come on up here. All right, so we have Coach Tim Wyatt, Coach Cheryl Wyatt, and Coach Dan Suzinski. These three do such a phenomenal job. It makes my life a lot easier, and the time and commitment they put into their sport is just amazing, and they do such a wonderful job with both the girls team and the boys team. They coach both of them, so they deserve a huge round of applause for what they do. All right, I'm going to have you guys all come up at once, and then I'll introduce you. So if the whole varsity bowling team can come up here right now. You can kind of split it if you want. All right, so I'll introduce these guys once they get up here. All right, over here by himself, Dalton Page. I like Cheryl. Brady Stobbs. Dakota Drelak. Lucas Hummel. Riley Roxbury. Aiden Holly. My boy Robert Rump. And Nick Austin. This team accomplished so many things this season. It's an honor for me to be here tonight in front of the Board of Education, recognizing these student athletes and coaches. This team is the first team in the history of Cuyahoga Falls to win a Suburban League championship. So that is really good. This is their first league title since 2011. And they did it against some of the best teams in the state. Nordonia was in our league, and Nordonia ended up third in the state, and we beat them for our league title. So it says a lot about these boys up here. They finished the regular season 11-2. They won the postseason league tournament. They won the championship in the postseason league tournament, which is every team in the Suburban League. They outbowled every one of them. So just an amazing season. I know it didn't finish exactly how they wanted to, but they'll always have the banner up in the gym, and not many teams can say that. So such a huge credit to them. To recap, they did break 2 school records this year as well. The team of Nick Austin, Aiden Holly, Robert Rump, Brady Stobbs, and Lakota Zrelak broke the record for the high Baker game with a 279 at the Tomahawk tournament. If you guys don't know what a Baker game is, basically each kid, 5 kids, each bowl 1 frame. So they bowl a frame, the next kid on their team bowls a frame, and they bowled a 279. I don't know who messed it up. So with that leads into the next thing, though. With that being said, with Lakota messing up their Baker game, he also broke or tied, because you can't break it, the school record. He bowled a perfect 300 game this year. We've only had 3 people do it in school history, and now he is one of the 3, and his name will always be on that record board because that is a record that cannot be broken. So the other thing I noticed when I'm up here is the hair. Man, I'm so jealous of all these guys. But no, I just want to, in closing, just say thank you to all you guys, coaches, athletes, and just how proud we all are of you and what you brought to the city. So thank you.
Congratulations.
So Top Tigers, don't forget to meet Mr. Metcalf to get your t-shirt on your way out.
Heather, yeah. Yep.
Quite a crowd.
Yeah. They're all leaving us.
Bowling started as a club when I was a student.
That was so
You gotta do
cool.
3
How
years
do you
ago.
bowl at 300?
Right, I know, right?
Oh my God.
We have
That's what I told them when I went over. I said, I'm lucky if I get 100.
Title 96 want to be a sport we have to offer.
doing cartwheels.
Mine is.
What do you need that for this presentation? Oh, you've got it.
Golf and take them out opportunities for boys and girls sport.
Slideshow.
And we have football, yes,
No,
but
that's
that
video.
covers football.
No, I don't need that.
You know what? We'll show it at cabinet for our last meeting with Rusty.
Yeah.
What?
I think she should do
Video.
one for
My
I-
cartwheel.
Oh, I have a video of you and Katie Brewer singing
Oh,
at
that's
Capitol
right.
Conference.
Yeah, that was
Get the good
like
seats now.
at the piano.
Oh,
You here for the boiler presentation?
We'll move on to number 3, which is another thing to graduate. It's recommended that the Board of Education grant a Cuyahoga Falls High School diploma to the following individual who has now completed the requirements stated by the state of Ohio for high school graduation. Designee Monet Bazin.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? She wasn't able to be here tonight, but no matter the journey you take, high school graduation is something to be incredibly proud of, so we can clap for her as well. Roll call, please.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Thank you. And now on to number 4, presentation on the Women in Leadership Conference, led by Dr. Cruz.
Come on, ladies.
You can make Dr. Celico join you. She was there.
She was there.
Chris, you're supposed to be
I
standing
know,
with
I
your
know.
group.
It's coming.
Right.
It's coming.
We'll get you.
It's coming.
Fixing my minutes. I'll be there.
My clicker's in my bag.
I got
Thank you.
Right here.
We could talk about this clicker. So we just want to say thank you to the board and to Mr. Shabady for supporting this endeavor. Taking all the women leaders out of a district for a day was really powerful for all of us because it was great. It was really, really great. But there were some, the men all jumped in and provided a lot of support in the district, but they felt our absence. So,
Principal Bugatti is a scary.
in
the classroom I am.
So this, we attended the 17th annual Women in Leadership Conference that's sponsored by BASA, and this year's theme was all in. And there's some words there that perhaps you can see.
Inspirational, intellectual, influencer, innovative individual.
Thank you.
Reading from
Thank
his
you.
computer.
So there's some meaning there behind all those words. We'll just allow you to personalize it. So this conference is held annually, and it's one that I have participated in for many years. And working with one of the founding members of this Women in Leadership endeavor was Cynthia Walker, who was an area superintendent, and she was a leader at BASA, and she brought me to my first leadership conference just a few years ago. And so it was quite an honor this year for me to attend with such an incredible team, and she was actually recognized at this conference, and so it was exciting for me to be there. So just a little personal, professional connection there. So the event itself, there were several speakers there. We had our interim superintendent of ODE. We had Marissa Orr. She was a Facebook and Google executive. Christina Kishimoto, who was former state superintendent of Hawaii, and Jitan Alaji Rao, who was Forbes 30 under 30. And I think Hillary is going to share a little bit.
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you. Marissa Orr, like she said, was one of the keynote speakers, and she was also one of the book study options. And I loved sitting through her session, and I just finished the book as well, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. She began her career at Google over 15 years ago. She was in charge of sales operations and strategy team, and then she worked for as a vertical marketing manager at Facebook, where she worked for a micromanaging boss who diminished and demeaned her. And during that time and since then, she has conducted talks and workshops for thousands of people across the globe. She is the author of Lean Out, The Truth About Women, Power, and in the Workplace, and it debunks the philosophy of Sheryl Sandberg's, perhaps you're familiar, Lean In, that everybody has to be the same in order to be equal. She, in a lot of her writing, and she talked about uncovering the truth about women, power in the workplace, exposing a lot of corporate dysfunction, perhaps, or even dysfunction in the system at large. And maybe that is, in fact, the source of the nation's gender gap. Her presentation and her writing shed light on the notion that women tend to be more focused and motivated by meaningful work than by climbing the proverbial ladder or chasing new titles. She said, and I quote, "Empowering women to take ownership and focus on what they can control puts pressure on the system, and it has to lead to change. But that won't happen until we stop mistaking empathy for weakness and realize that female success shouldn't hinge on us being more like men." My favorite piece of advice from her during her talk was to imagine yourself at 80, and the person you are imagining represents your current well-being. Talk to your 80-year-old self to get perspective about what's really important. I believe that attending the Women in Leadership Conference helped all of us learn about ourselves and each other. And as we commit to and work on identity development a lot through ICS, we learn more about ourselves and others. And we realize that there's always more to learn about ourselves and other people. So, and I have to use at least 2 seconds of having a microphone to definitely say thank you to Dr. Cruz for advocating for us. And you've been a huge advocate for us and stood up for us and empowered us since you got here, and I just really appreciate that. Mr. Shabdy, Board of Education, thank you for giving us this opportunity to develop our identity as female administrators. And I believe that there are certainly bright days ahead for the Black Tiger family.
So we have a few others of us wanted to share, but that is a tough act to follow, Hillary. Thank you. It's really awesome. Really, and thank you. So, Dr. Seaver?
Don't really want to follow Hillary now. Thank you, Hillary, because I have a teeny weeny little paragraph as opposed to her novel. It's okay. So I read Dare to Lead. So I'm going to give you a summary on that book and then talk about some critiques. No, I'm not really doing any of that at all. I just really wanted to share kind of an overview from my perspective of some of the takeaways. I particularly liked that they focused on some themes with women's voices in leadership. Some of the themes with women's voices would be that women tend to focus on compassion. They tend to focus on the holistic child or person or situation. And they also tend to focus on allowing that empathy, allowing the feelings to be a part of conversations and not to be a detractor, but yet to be something that lifts up the conversations, adds to it, and really turns things, makes them real. Our school district and every other school district is filled with people. People have relationships and interactions. And if we try to take that humanistic piece out, then we're really missing the mark with what's going on in education. So women's voices in leadership have that opportunity to really create a powerful transactional change agent. And that's what all of us hope to do. So we appreciate the opportunity to attend. We appreciate the votes of confidence from all of you. And this was transactional for all of us. So thank you very much.
We do want to know how you got the sweatshirt from Tracy.
Custom order.
So that's our next slide does highlight our amazing shirts, and we need to give a special thank you to Tracy Early, who designed and made all of these for us. And she recognizes the unique aspects of each of us, which is why Rachel has the sweatshirt. That's what she needed, and so we love that. That's great. That's great. So yes, we love our shirts, and they're
Everybody
amazing.
loved our shirts.
And
They were the highlight of the.
And so here's a little snapshot of our partial group. We were missing a few folks this next morning for various reasons. But there we all are, happy as could be after a long day of intense learning and collaboration. So.
All right, I'll go again.
So I really appreciate the opportunity to attend this leadership conference for a couple of reasons. First of all, I often say that most of my days feel like a second career to me. And I'm learning all about education and curriculum, and I'm using my mental health skills in a very interesting way, but I never learned about leadership going to school to get my social work degree. And so I'm kind of learning trial by fire, learning from my colleagues. And so this leadership conference not only let me learn from the session content and the book study, but also from colleagues. So colleagues that I met at the conference, as well as the ladies standing behind us. And we really got an opportunity to build relationships. I entered into this position in the middle of a pandemic, so I didn't get to build the relationships I would have liked when I started in this role. And so the leadership conference really gave us the opportunity to get to know each other, build those relationships, which we know in the end is what's going to help our students. So thank you for the opportunity.
So, ending with a quote here by Brene Brown. Do you want to read the quote? I can read it. Great.
That was not the compassion, empathy. You just threw Dr. Seiferd's whole presentation out.
I'm 46 and I can read it.
I can read it too, ma'am.
Let's see. Inspired leadership requires vulnerability. Do we have the courage to show up, be seen, take risks, ask for help, own our mistakes, learn from failure? Now I feel like I'm taking an eye test. And joy. And can we support the people around us in doing the same? Right? Our favorite Brene Brown.
We're going to close. Tammy's going to close us out.
We get to wrap up. I don't know what else there is to say, but this is my 7th principal year and 15 or 16 teaching and entire life and graduating. So you all know I've been here a long time. And I feel my first real overwhelming sense of hope. And thank you. Thank you for just investing in some of the most amazing women I have ever been blessed to work with in my life. Thank you to the gentlemen. It's always great when I can trust a colleague to go in with my 300 most prized possessions and know that he's going to do just fine. He did call me at 8:30 on the first day. But just saying hi, it's always great to be the first out of 440 women, the first to get up and walk out the door. It was really good. But again, didn't want to do anything. He just wanted to collaborate. We work in an amazing district. And thanks for joining us, because it is going to be one heck of a ride. And thank you for investing in all of us. We're going to make you proud.
And I see Tammy Brown on a lot of people's ears. Those are Tammy Brown specialists.
You won't be sorry.
I know you want to say something.
I do. Well, I just going to say I'm close to 80, not quite, but I'm getting there, so I understand that. But I'm so happy that women are coming forward and into leadership positions. I grew up in the 60s, women's lib, all that. So I really enjoyed this, and I'm glad that you learned, and I'm so proud of you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think, as life goes on and you see other opportunities, let Dr. Cruz know. I think
Yeah,
she'll be the appropriate
absolutely.
person for learning, and that's something that it's part of our plan to be supportive of. So if you see things, other opportunities to do continuing education, let Dr. Cruz know. Thank you all for being here. Now on to our fifth presentation, Engage and Graduation Alliance Dropout Recovery and the Montgomery County Educational Service Center. Dr. Cruz, you're going to introduce our guests.
Sorry. So thank you. I'm going to introduce Carolyn Taylor. Come on up. And so Carolyn's going to tell you all about this partnership that we would like to present to you tonight with Engage Ohio. But in addition to Engage Ohio is another layer called Graduation Alliance. So this is in direct response for us wanting to connect and support our students who are not finding success in attending school. So.
Thank you so much, and I'm almost 50, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to read the slide deck here, so please be patient with me. I have to say this is one of the most uplifting board meetings I've been to lately. I attend a lot of these, and during these troubling times, it's nice to really hear a lot of good news, so I appreciate the opportunity to be with all of you today. Appreciate it. So my name is Carolyn Taylor. I'm the Vice President of Program Development for the great state of Ohio for Graduation Alliance. I drove in tonight from Cincinnati. I have a Dayton number. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, so I'm Ohio born and bred. And I'm really excited to talk to you about a couple of our programs that can really help some of your most at-risk students, so students who can't or won't go to school. And unfortunately, due to the pandemic, there's a lot of students in this situation. So we believe, just as you were saying, Mr. Gomez, that every student should have the opportunity to earn a high school diploma and better their lives. And that's really core to our mission as a company. Go to the next slide. So as an organization, we're based in Salt Lake City, Utah. So if you go and look up our company, we're out in Salt Lake. We work with over 850 state and district partners nationwide, and we've served over 98,000 alternative education students. We also have a new program here in the Buckeye State called Engage Ohio. We're doing some attendance recovery work. We've served over 200,000 students doing attendance recovery, and I'll talk a bit more about that. We do offer high school courses and curriculum. We're fully accredited by Cognia, which used to be Advanced Ed. We offer NCAA compliant courses and ACE courses, so students can get college credit in some cases, and then we're endorsed by Quality Matters for the quality of our curriculum and content. Next slide. So the problem we're working to solve, and I fear that this problem has gotten worse with the pandemic, but every year 1.2 million students drop out of school. So think about this for a second. That is a student every 26 seconds, or 7,000 students a day. So it's very troubling. A high school dropout will earn $258,000 less over the course of their lifetime, and the cost to society will be about $755,000 because they're more likely to be incarcerated, need social services. And on average, a high school graduate will earn about $10,000 more per year than a high school dropout. So this is really core to our mission and what we're really trying to solve as a company. So I'm going to talk about our dropout recovery program first, and then kind of back into the Engage Ohio program. So the greatest part of our program, in my opinion, is that if students take courses through us, they will graduate with a diploma from Cuyahoga Falls, so not a diploma from an organization that nobody's heard of. And we oftentimes are the last resort option for school districts, and we're okay with that because we feel that every district and every student needs that last resort option. So core to our program model are our teachers. So our teachers are all Ohio certified teachers. They're working with students asynchronously online, so students can do their work when it works for them. So a lot of times our students are taking care of young children or having to work to the day, or they just can't get to school for some reason. We like to say our students are those students who can't or won't go to school. We firmly believe as a company, if students are willing and able to come to school with you, that's where they should be, but we're kind of that last resort option. So our teachers are really core to what we do. So students can do their work when it works for them at a time that works for them. But if they ever have any questions or concerns about their coursework, they can reach out to a teacher. So there's an actual teacher that they can connect with. They can chat, text, or instant message their teacher, do a Zoom with their teacher, call their teachers. They're really there to support. We like to say that we scaffold our support systems as well. Every teacher also has a teacher mentor that oversees their evaluations and their work. They also get an academic coach to help with pace and progress. So accountability is really core to what we're doing in this program. Students have to earn at least a half credit of work each month to maintain a clear status. We're not going to let students just linger out there and not do any coursework in this program. They also get a local advocate to help with social and emotional support. We do meetups with those students, face-to-face and virtually, whatever works best for that student. They have access to 24/7 tutoring, and a lot of support resources that are really built into the program. So if you think about it, you've got that student really at the center. You've got their teachers who are subject matter experts in each courses. They've got their academic coach helping with pace and progress. They have their local advocate for social emotional support, and then they have access to that 24/7 tutoring. We also provide technology if students need that. They get Google Chromebooks with Wi-Fi. Right now, a lot of districts are one-to-one, but if a student needs a device, we'll certainly provide that. We like to say we take the excuse off the table. The dog ate my homework. I can't get online. Oh, yes, you can. We gave you a computer to do your work. So that's really core to what we're doing with the Dropout Recovery Program. We never enroll a student without the district's permission. So a lot of times what districts will do is provide us with a list of their dropout students, so students that have totally disengaged. We have an enrollment team that will reach out to those students. We can serve students up until the age of 22 and say, good news, there's a second chance for you to get a diploma from Cuyahoga Falls. That diploma means something within this community. And a lot of times students are kicking themselves. I shouldn't have dropped out of high school. I don't want to get my GED. I really wish I had that Cuyahoga Falls diploma, and they're pretty pumped when they get a phone call from one of our enrollment counselors, and then your team approves those students. And then districts can also refer students into the program as well. Our districts can refer students into the program. So if you have students with anxiety, medically fragile students, or students that are just really struggling, behavioral issues is another reason that you can refer students into the program as well, and we can serve those students. So you call the shots with who goes into this program. Like I said at first, a lot of times we are that last resort option for school districts. Go to the next slide. So these are some of the use cases of students that we work with, students that have dropped out or at risk of dropping out, students who cannot or will not attend school, family complications, social emotional issues, pregnant or parenting. And we consider success a couple different things. One, can we get the student back into the classroom with you? And if not, can we get that student over the finish line? We're fully transparent about what we do, and I cannot read these numbers from here, so I'm not going to attempt to do that. But this is our administrative dashboard, so that at any point in time, administrators can go in and see how are we doing for your students. These are all live links within our system, so you can access the actual student data and see what's going on with your kiddos. And so a couple of metrics that we look at are counted credits, our students earning credits in our program. Credit earned rate, like I said before, we like to see students get that 0.5 at least each month. And then are they attending those meetups? Do our counselors have eyes, actual eyes on your students? Next slide. So how good are we at what we do? There was an independent study, I can get you this data, by an organization called Mission Measurement out of Chicago. They did a project called Project Genome, and they measured our dropout recovery program against about 130 others. You can go to the next slide. And so again, we're working with dropouts. And so our graduation rate with the genome benchmark, which was 36%. So if you think you're talking about going from 0 to 36, we actually went from 0 to 46% in terms of graduates in this program. Our cost per outcome was about $8,423 compared to the genome benchmark of $12,504. So we were lower cost and actually produced better outcomes. And I have this study if you'd like to see it. Next slide. I really can't read this slide, but the efficacy gets much better with a line of sight. So if a student has less than 5 credits, our efficacy goes up to actually 70%. If they have a lot of credits, like 19, 20 credits to go, it goes down. So again, this is a program that we're really trying to get those last milers over the finish line, and we're doing a pretty good job of that. So I'm going to pivot and talk about a free program that we offer that was just funded by the Ohio Department of Education and supported by the Ohio Association of ESCs, called Engage Ohio. So we've been doing this attendance recovery work since the pandemic first broke out. We started our work in the state of New Mexico, and I like to call this child finds. So when the pandemic first broke out, we got a lot of panicky calls, we can't find kids. And so our goal with this program is to find kids, not educate kids, but reconnect them with their school district, and also get students back into a good cadence of being students. When I talk to administrators, a lot of times students have forgotten how to be students when they're going to school. They're not attending, they're getting poor grades, they're being disruptive in courses. So we really like to focus with this program on the ABCs. And so if you think about that academic coaching piece that I mentioned with our Dropout Recovery Program, that's really what we're doing with Engage Ohio. So we're not providing the curriculum or instruction, we're just providing a coach for that student to be successful, when they're going to school or if they're taking classes virtually. And so it really starts out at the state level and kind of trickles down to district level opt-ins. Again, the price is right. This is fully funded by the state of Ohio, so there's no cost to the school district. With this program, we're also able to serve students and families in K through 12. So the Dropout Recovery Program is really focused on high school students. So how this program works is districts provide us a list of students that they want us to help re-engage, and then our enrollment counselors reach out to those students and families and provide them the opportunity to participate in the program. We never force this service on anybody, but the students that participate really tend to like the service as well. And then once we reach a student and family, we do some triage. We really try to figure out what are those barriers holding that student back, and what's the frequency of contact that our team needs to be doing with those students, and how can we best serve them. So I'm the mom of a 3rd grader, and I really struggle sometimes to get him to read. So with those little kiddos, people are often asking, what do you do with those little kiddos? A lot of times we're reading with those little kiddos or introducing moms and dads to new books. With those high school students, we're really encouraging them to develop good study skills, get up early, eat a good breakfast, dedicate time in your day for your studies. And from the district perspective, we're going to be providing you all with a lot of really robust data that you can act upon. Next slide. So who's eligible for the program? There are some criteria here that you need to be mindful of. It's for students in K through 12, students who are chronically absent, disengaged from learning, or academically at risk, or in danger of failing one or more courses, or they have failed courses. So that's the target population for Engage Ohio. So how it works, like I mentioned before, we've got enrollment counselors that are reaching out to your students, doing some triage to figure out what their needs are, and then once they get set up, they're working with our academic success coaches. This program is funded through September of 2023, by the way, so no cost to you through September 2023. The engagement methodology, we take a multimodal approach. So what does that mean? A lot of our high school students prefer texting, chatting, instant messaging, so we try to communicate with people the way they want to be communicated to. We do phone calls, we do direct mail in some cases, we do Google Chat and Zoom. We do differentiated treatment strategies really based on the needs of that individual. And then we have a very easy onboarding process. So when students raise their hand and say, I want to participate, they complete an intake survey, and we're providing all of this robust data back to the district. And then we set up a personalized education success plan for each student and family. Next slide. So this is an example, and I really can't read this one either, of all the data that you'll get. So we use a service by Microsoft called Power BI. Everybody who needs access to this at the district will have access to this. You'll have aggregate level data for your district and even the student level data. These are all clickable links as well. So you'll be able to see, how many students have you attempted to call, what's my opt-in rate, what treatment strategy are students getting. So you'll get a lot of robust data. This is updated instantly as well. So if you're data junkies out there, you have lots of data to crunch and play with this program. And also mobility data. So if students have left the district, did they report that they're homeschooled, enrolled in a private school, they're not attending? So again, on that attendance piece, you'll be getting data back as well as we hear from our students, the students and families participating in the program. And then also the student barriers. So as an example, if a student says, I can't reach my teacher, you'll know who that student is and be able to connect them with their teacher. If a student says, I don't have Wi-Fi, you'll be able to know who that student is to help them out. So a lot of actionable data that we'll be providing back to the district that you can act on through this program. So how good are we at this program? We think we're doing a pretty good job here. I don't know if you all are familiar with the Net Promoter Score, but basically the Net Promoter Score asks one simple question: how likely are you to refer somebody else to this program? Are you satisfied? And anything over 50, 60%, because you think about it, if you fill out a survey, you're filling it out for one of two reasons. You're very unsatisfied or you're very satisfied with the service. And so we're pretty proud of our Net Promoter Score being 81. which is considered a promoter, not a detractor, not a neutral. So we've got a lot of people out there, students and families, that are saying this has been a pretty good program in helping our students. And this is really hard to read, but it kind of focuses on that Net Promoter Score. We've got some wonderful student stories out there, and we really, hope to make a difference here in the Buckeye State. So that's all I have for today. I'm sorry I've been rambling longer than I thought I would be rambling tonight, but I'm pretty passionate about the work that we're doing here, and very excited to work with Cuyahoga Falls and the team at Montgomery County ESC, who you guys are contracting through, actually brought our program to the state of Ohio. So you picked a good partner to contract through. They know our program very, very well, and they push us to be better as a company too. So appreciate it.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Who provides the training and who do you train to implement the program in the district?
The training for
this program to familiarize our counselors or principals or whoever with the program.
So tomorrow we're doing a program kickoff with the team, which is a deep dive into the Dropout Recovery Program. I can help if people have information about the Engage Ohio program. There's also a program manager. So every district is assigned a program manager. I'm the VP, so I kind of oversee the program to work with the district. But we have a kickoff meeting tomorrow with essential staff about the program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to open up for questions or comments from the board. First, let's do, it's two pieces, so let's do the Graduation Alliance Dropout Recovery. Questions or comments about that? I had one. You touched on this a little bit, but about getting them back into the school. So that's an option. So it's not like this is, because we talked about last resort, but it's not really if we feel that they're capable to come back to school.
Absolutely. We encourage students to go back to school. That's where they should be if they are able to do that.
Anything else for graduation one? For Engage Ohio, any questions?
I just have one with the under the age of 22. Is that for them to start the program, or do they have to be 22 by the time they finish the program?
They have to finish by the time they're 22. Yes.
I have a question. When you say they have to be chronically absent, do you define that in the same way that the state of Ohio defines
For
chronic
Engage
absence?
Ohio?
Yeah.
They give a lot of leeway there. So for
Okay.
Engage Ohio, it's really who the district feels would benefit from the Engage Ohio service. So it's not
Okay.
for your high flyers to help them go even higher. It's really for the students that have struggled with attendance, behavior, course completion. So it's kind of a broad definition of that chronically absent piece.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you so much for taking the drive up to give us
Absolutely.
this great
Appreciate it. Look forward to
information.
seeing you all tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Okay. On to item E, Treasurer CFO's business consent agenda. Ms. Stoikoway.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend the Board of Education approve all items listed in the treasurer's consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. Any comments?
Yes. So the amended appropriations is just another increase to food service, just due to the rising costs, plus the amount of meals that we're doing. This is a kind of good and bad scenario, but it's just to kind of cover us to get through the end of the year for Bill's department. And then just the donations, as always, there's quite a few this time, more from the Ben Curtis family, some gift cards, some more supplies, some donations to the baseball program, and different things. We always appreciate those.
Thank you for that. I wanted to comment on the CFABA is now partnering with our baseball program, which I know Mr. Johnson's not here anymore, but he's very proud of that work because we talked about wanting to build up student athletes in the young ages. So I can, as the uncle of someone in CFABA, it's very nice to see the Black Tiger logo and symbolism in that nice partnership. So special thanks to that. Anyone else? Please call the roll.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye. On to item F, Treasurer CFO's business. Ms. Stoikoway, comments?
I don't have much. I will be at the annual OASBO conference next week, so this is the first time since 2019. So I'm really excited because it's a great conference. It's a 3-day, 4-day really conference that they put on, and I'll be doing some other things down there as the local president of 5 County, and then also as the DEI chair for OASBO. So I'm looking forward to it. both be attending. And so it looks to be a good time. Cliff from Cheers is one of the keynote speakers. Yeah, so exciting stuff.
Thank you very much. On to item G, Superintendent CEO's business consent agenda, Mr. Shabady.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve all items listed in the superintendent's business consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Any comments? Anyone? Comment on, obviously we're excited about the programs we just heard about. We're approving our membership in that, as well as the SIL field, so what that contract for services is, so that our soccer team can continue to have a place to practice and hopefully play games as well, as we make this adjustment over with the new site. So thanks to all those doing work on that. I have a question for Dr. Cruz on the mathematics MOU. Is that different than the middle school mathematics pilot that we're doing?
Yes.
Can you give us a little bit of info on that?
Yes. Yes, I can. So I just want to pull it up so I can speak to it specifically. So I can. The pilot that we're doing right now at one of our middle schools is specific to course compacting.
Okay.
It's using a resource that takes essentially 3 grade levels of math curriculum and compacts it into 2. So it takes 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade math standards and compacts them into 2 grades. And then that opens up students in 8th grade being able to take an accelerated high school Algebra 1 class. Algebra 1 acceleration for 8th graders is a pretty typical acceleration. However, it's not always successful because they have to essentially skip grades of those math standards. So we all know that math builds on itself, and so to just skip an entire grade and be plopped into a high school course in 8th grade doesn't always lend itself for all of our students to be successful. So this year we piloted a curriculum that has compacted that, taking essentially 6th and 7th and smushing it, and 7th and 8th and smushing it. And I've been reviewing the data with the teacher and Ms. Dudones, and we're seeing some real positive results right now. And it would be our hope that it would allow for us to be more inclusive of students to be able to take Algebra 1 as an 8th grader because of the way that the curriculum is taught. And we're not just jumping over standards, we're teaching them all at a faster rate. But there is some overlap in those 6th, 7th, and 8th grade standards, so it's more efficient and it packs them. So that's the math pilot. This one is we applied for through ODE, and this has more to do with algebra pathways for Algebra 2. So this one's more. Really probably should have viewed this. I'm sorry. I haven't looked at this for a little while. But this one has to do more with us being piloting a program that is coming down the pike for all schools in Ohio. So we're just jumping on this faster to be able to give feedback. Our teachers were excited about it. Ms. Dudones was excited about it. To us, it was a little bit of a no-brainer to pilot it, since we know it's not a pilot that may not happen. It's a pilot that's coming down the line later, and it opens up some additional pathways for our high schoolers who may not need Algebra 2 in the same way, in the same college readiness pathway. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Thank you for that. Anyone else? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Thank you. On to item H, Superintendent CEO's business. Any comments, Mr. Shabbat?
Just a couple. First of all, I wanted to take a moment to thank the board for allowing me to be part of the superintendent search. It was certainly unique being on this side and listening to the questions and answers. There were some great candidates, but I absolutely think the board got it right 100%. So think there's great things in store for Cuyahoga Falls City Schools, so congratulations on that, and congratulations, Dr. Celico. I want to mention this, I hope I'm not stealing anyone's thunder, but last meeting, I meant to do this when all the kids were here, because last meeting we recognized a couple of art students, and one of those art students, Anna Leone, who we recognized last month, was selected for national recognition. She's going to Carnegie Hall. That's a pretty big thing. So I think it happens in June, right, Dr. Cruz? I think it's in June, and so hopefully you guys will have her back after that trip, and but what an honor, so awesome. Sorry, Anthony, I know you were going to say that probably.
You're good.
The last thing I'd like to say, just an update on the building project, that the architects have completed all the staff meetings, and they're putting their heads down and placing things on a drawing. And so early fall, it's anticipated they will have a nice rendering of that building. So hopefully people are still super excited about that issue. So, and last but not least, my daughter went out last night, bought her Cinderella dress, so we'll be at the play on Friday night. So. My granddaughter, I should say.
We figured.
Do I need to go to Cinderella?
Thank you, Mr. Shapley. On to item I, board business. Number 1, policy approval and adoption. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve and adopt following policies which were reviewed at the March 2nd, 2022 Board of Education meeting.
So moved.
Second.
So there's one that was not reviewed at the March 2nd, 2022 Board of Education meeting. That's ACA, but there's no changes in that. It's kudos to Ms. Stoikoi for catching that there was a little issue in some of the policy adoption. OSBA changed the platform that happens in. So
Yeah, they changed one that is connected to this, and in that it removed this, but we need this. So
I say Ms.
the same
Stoikoi
as- yeah.
does an excellent job of making sure that our policies get updated, and so thanks to her for catching that. Any other questions or comments? Please call the roll.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Item 2, Superintendent Designee contract for Dr. Andrea Celico. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve up to 20 days between April 6, 2022 and July 31st, 2022 for Dr. Andrea Celico to serve in a consulting capacity as the Superintendent CEO at a per diem rate of $627.80.
So moved. Oh, a second.
Any discussion? I will say that because our meeting when we appointed her wasn't recorded, her mom didn't get to hear all the nice things we said about her. So if you wanted to give some shout outs, I'm sure her mom would appreciate that. We'll just say once again that we're very excited to have her join our district. She's hit the ground running long before we even approved this contract tonight, and we're very excited for what you're going to bring to our district.
You know, I had prepared statements last time, and I know I don't have, but I will just echo what Mr. Gomez said. We're very excited to have you. We had an excellent pool of candidates. You showed you had that understanding of what we mean by culture of caring and the importance of our community and what we do here. So we're glad to have you.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 3, future agenda items. Does anyone have any future agenda items to bring? We'll just do some highlights. That we're going to honor our robotics team at the next meeting. I think we all saw what a wonderful job they did. So we'll be honoring them at our next meeting. We will touch base again on the strategic plan conversation as just a touch point at the next meeting. I know I haven't emailed you out. That was intentional. We've been busy with other things, and I didn't want to draw focus away from other things that we needed to spend our time on, but I will get that sent out. And then we'll have our 612 literacy update at our next meeting, and the administrative support contract. You should have received a copy of the updates on that. Will be on the next agenda for approval as well. So.
And the Shining Star.
And the Shining Star, yes, which ties to the robotics, but not to give it away. On to number 4, committee reports. 612 construction core team, Ms. White.
We will be meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Thank you. Alliance for School and Community Growth, Ms. Coco.
We will be meeting Tuesday, April 12th at 8 a.m.
Thank you. Athletics and Activity Council, Ms. Schaefer.
I don't have anything.
Thank you. Board Policy, Ms. White and myself. We're gonna have to set a meeting, shortly, and I think Mr. Hutch and Dr. Cruz both have policies, so we'll loop you in, as we work to get that set. Business Advisory Council, Mr. Harris and Ms. Coco.
Our next meeting is set for May 24th at 8 a.m.
Thank you.
I will be there for that.
Financial Advisory Committee Representative, Mrs. Schaefer.
I don't have anything.
Okay, Foundation Alumni Association, that's me. Our next meeting is next Tuesday, but I'll be missing that because we have our 6th District Care Award dinner that night. But we did announce our distinguished alumni. I'm not supposed to tell you because I'm supposed to encourage you to go onto our website. Jerry Lynn told me I had to say. You're supposed to go to the website, cfsfa.org, aa.org, and look at our announcement of our distinguished alumni. That'll be May 9th, Monday, May 9th, in the auditorium. We'll be honoring them. And kudos to Mrs. Schaefer, who has joined the foundation. We thank her. You'll get thanks when you join, you other folks.
And I can't wait to open a jar.
Legislative Liaison, Mr. Harris, there's been a lot happening.
There has been a lot happening. I'll have more of an update on a lot of, like I said, there's a bunch of stuff. I'll have a better update at the next meeting, but I do want to highlight 2 important pieces of legislation that have been making headlines recently. House Bill 126, which would modify or limit the manner by which local governments and school boards may contest property values. That passed, I believe, today in the House by 59 to 35. What it does, it essentially blocks due process for local governments and school districts, greatly impacting school funding. So we will see what happens with that. The next big piece, and I'm sure you guys have heard about this, House Bill 616 was introduced in the Ohio House, which is a version of Florida's Don't Say Gay law. It is known as the Parental Rights Bill by supporters, and again, Don't Say Gay law by opponents. Ohio's House Bill 616 would ban discussion on sexual orientation and gender identity until 4th grade in all public and most private schools. I'm going to do my best to keep my personal opinions out of this and read the facts here. Educators in schools who violate the proposed law could face suspension and the loss of state funds depending on the severity of the offense. The legislation would also ban other divisive concepts such as the 1619 Project, critical race theory, intersectional theory, inherited racial guilt, diversity, equity, and inclusion learning outcomes, and any other concept that the State Board of Education defines as divisive or inherently racist. That's all I have for now. I'll have a better update in the next meeting.
Thank you. Student Achievement Liaison, Ms. White.
Yes, I went to the meeting Monday on April 4th, and I was really happy with the direction again, with the way that things are. I did go over the Ohio Literacy Plan, and I really got angry. I had to put it down. I know we're going to do all we can to help readers, but when 71.4% of those kids that don't pass are economically disadvantaged, that really makes me angry that we're not doing more to help those students and their families. And I could go on, but that really got me. It really went to my heart. We need to do more to help our families and our students, our kids. And I know that our teachers are there, and they'll do all they can. So, the other thing was, Allie and I got into kind of a fight, but that's okay. It was a cordial fight, just over certain things. But I mean, it was a really good experience all in all. I do enjoy being there with everybody. So it's just really good. I think the direction, the wellness, that is so important. And at my table, they were so worried, what are we doing? Are we doing enough? How do we integrate that into what we're already doing, all these other things? And at the end of it, I just reminded, I said, but every time I go into a building, I see, smiles on faces. And hi, Patty, how are you? I always enter a building and they're always happy to see you, and they're always as sweet as can be. The secretary's there that greet you. are just wonderful. I don't know if it's because they know me or you know what, but whether I go in for my grandchildren or just me to see something, the teachers, everybody, the kids even, they're all very welcoming, and I just want them to know that all our teachers and staff are doing really good work. Don't lose heart, that's all. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Student Wellness and Success Liaison, that's me. I don't have a major update because we'll get an update on that department, the panorama results in May, and then have opportunity to kind of dig into that and understand that more. The one thing I would know, just for student wellness, is that this year for spring break, more than any other year, more people I know just got out of town unplugged, and I think that's great because families realized that they deemed it safe to be able to do that, and that they recognized that their family and their students needed that. So, wonderful job by all those that really were able to take some time for rest over spring break. That's so important. Now on to comments. First up tonight is Ms. Coco.
Yes. Mr. Chavity already mentioned Cinderella this weekend on the 8th and 9th. There's 3 shows, 7 p.m. on Friday, 2 p.m., 7 p.m. on Saturday, and you can get your tickets at CF Athletics online. So I'm excited about going to that. I wanted to say thank you to DeWitt, who invited the board members along with other staff on March 24th. I got to go and sit in as part of their latest grant with the EIG grant. They did these rocks. They had April Couch come in. She does Zentangle, and we got to paint rocks with the students, with all the 5th graders, which they're going to leave behind as part of, they emphasize leaving behind something as part of their legacy when they transition into middle school. And so those rocks will get put in the Zen Den. Mrs. Shaver's rock was much better than mine, I have to say, but I still enjoyed. I wanted a do-over. I wanted a second rock. They wouldn't give me one, but that's okay. But it was fun to see that and to see, and they showed us around some other areas of the school while we were there, and it was just really an awesome experience, and one of the best parts, I think, of our jobs when we get to firsthand see all the exciting things that are happening in this district. So congratulations to Top Tigers, and another big welcome to Dr. Celico. We're excited for you to join our team and to be here, and we have full confidence in the decision that was made for you to be here as a board. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm up next. This past Monday, I went to City Council because they were discussing our zoning change, which was favorably reported out of committee. The full council will vote next week, and Scott Allman from KDA was there, was able to introduce them to the 2 council people that represent our site and able to connect them with them because they're already getting calls from residents, not bad calls. They wanted me to know. Both Councilwoman Nichols Rhodes and Councilman Brillhart said that people called them, were appreciative of the meeting we had. So happy calls so far. We want to keep it that way and keep those good community connections going. The Monday before that, I was at our OSBA Northeast Regional Conference. It was really well done, and good to see many people that I know, and I received the aptitude and training awards there, so that was nice. And then Richardson Bingo, which I think most of us were able to get to. That was a wonderful night as well. So on to Mr. Harris.
All right. Well, I'm going to echo a lot of stuff that's already been said. Congratulations, Black Tigers, as always. Also, a huge shout out to our boys, the bowling team. Any of you guys, if you're listening, the coaches, I need some tutoring in bowling. I get beat by my wife quite often, so I need some help. And then also, congratulations to our graduate this evening too. Cinderella this weekend, Friday, and I believe Saturday 2 and 7. Meet and greet next Wednesday at 6:30 here at the high school for Dr. Celico. So I'm looking forward to that. And also, I just want to mention, it is Autism Acceptance Month, where we bring awareness to autism and create avenues for accepting these individuals throughout, in activities throughout our community. I encourage everyone to visit autismakron.org. That's the Autism Society of Greater Akron. Find out ways you can get involved and bring awareness and help these great individuals. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Schaefer?
I don't have much that wasn't already said. Welcome, Dr. Celico. We're very excited. The presentation today for the conference that the women went to, I was really moved by that presentation greatly. I'm very proud of the women that are leaders in this district. I really am. And also very excited about the future and the directions that we're going in. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. White?
Oh, yeah. Everybody want to leave now before I start reading?
I figured you'd have a gold tone shout out.
Well, yeah, the gold tones will be at the meet and greet and also at the art walk, which I want to thank the art students for our little gift. They're just wonderful. So go to the art walk on the 21st. Are you sure you guys don't want to? Okay. I do have my reading, as I usually do. I wanted to start with the book Focus. We've been studying this book now for what, over a year? Has it been? 2? And I just want to bring us back to Focus and just go from the introduction. I'm not going to read the whole book, but I could, but I won't. Basically, I'm going to give you some of the highlights as I was reading through it and what I'd like to see us focus on. If we focus our efforts on certain amply proven essential actions, schools will improve dramatically. In other words, simplify. Simplify, simplify, simplify. There are 3 things that are essential for schools to do, and that's basically a reasonably coherent curriculum, what we teach, soundly structured lessons, how we teach, and the authentic literacy, integral to both what and how we teach. And those 3 things are kind of the focus of the book. And so we are in chapter 1, coherent curriculum, soundly structured lessons, and adequate amounts of fairly traditional literary activities. Now, what does that kind of mean? Well, what we teach. That refers to curriculum, and that it should be similar throughout our district at least. The authentic literacy is actual reading and writing, which I'm an ex-English teacher, former, so that to me is very, very important. And then again, the simplicity, clarify. For example, when our curriculum, whether it's social studies, math, language arts, science, when they have all these standards, it's really hard. It makes it difficult. We need to focus on power standards. When I was still at the English department at the high school, we did focus on 5 power standards for our English department. And it really helped us focus our lessons. This is what we need to do. And it basically was reading literature, reading nonfiction, and writing all the time, as much as you could. So that's kind of the beginnings of Focus, and I just wanted to go over that a little bit, and then I did bring an article, Why American Students Haven't Gotten Better at Reading in 20 Years. I may have read this before, but I'm not sure. I couldn't remember, but.
Once or twice.
Did I? Or you just, I don't know. Oh, well, anyway, here it goes. What's the reason for the utter lack of progress in reading scores? Well, we already know 71.4% fail because economically disadvantaged, but that's something else. But the NAEP concluded that the root of the problem is the way that schools teach reading. So again, what should we do? What do we focus on? Reading skills in the early years, very important, we know. K through 2 really do need to focus on those types of skills. But we know now that comprehension, which we used to teach as skills, we really don't need to focus on. What we need to do, and that's like finding main idea, drawing inferences, all that stuff. But the kids end up reading things that don't connect. They don't connect. So one time they might be reading about dinosaurs, the next time clouds, or whatever it is. It doesn't have a connection. So what we need to do is basically look at units that expand through social studies, science, have the kids focus on the content when they're reading under key ideas and essential questions around that, so that you're building background knowledge, which is very important, and vocabulary in whatever field that is, whether it's social studies or science. It's different from just reading fiction. So we need to teach that, the background and the vocabulary. And then we need to follow that in history, science, and literature, and the arts. Well, don't leave out the arts, but that they are logical sequenced from one year to the next. For example, Native Americans and Columbus in kindergarten, the colonial area and American Revolution in first grade, the War of 1812, which, about that one, and Civil War in the second grade. This approach enables children to make sense of what they're learning, and the repetition of concepts and vocabulary in different contexts makes it more likely that they'll retain the information. Not to mention that learning content such as this can be a lot more engaging for both students and teachers than the endless practice of illusory skills. So that's that article. And I just believe that we do need to focus more on reading and writing throughout the curriculum, building the background knowledge, which is what the literacy is, I think, all about, our literacy group, and you'll hear more what they are doing, I think, at the next board meeting. So I'm done.
Thank you. Item J, adjournment. Motion to adjourn. It's recommended that the Board of Education adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coker?